How does a life change? How does your life change? Do you even want your life to change? I hear that all the time. And how is your life changing? Here's the deal. Our history, our past story, we say it deals with facts. I say baloney. I say it deals with feelings. Because you see, we change the facts all the time to fit wherever we are. I don't know if you've ever paid attention to yourself enough to notice the different yous that come forward. But over the course of time, I've been privileged with the opportunity to see the different me's that I get to be. Who I used to be when I was a kid, and who I used to be when I was a young adult. That's a stretch of the imagination, but anyhow, it's just a matter of chronological age. We're very different. Because who I believe myself to be and who I imagined myself to be back then as I went on with years, I found that didn't fit, it didn't match. And I went about and worked on changing it. I did all kinds of things. And not necessarily everything I did I enjoy. But nevertheless, I was continuing to reimagine myself. All the way up to here right now. And for those of you who have known me since I've been to California for the past 35 years, you've even noticed that I have continued in reimagining myself. You see, that is the magic liquid that you have to pour into your life if you're going to be able to make changes in yourself that come anywhere near giving you a sense of satisfaction. Unless, of course, you're satisfied with who you are right now. And if that's the case, stay with it. It won't be long. Because you see, if you stay with a certain version of yourself, you start encountering problems. And the next thing you know, you're devoting your life to solving problems. And when you get into that rut, you find that your life turns into a veritable hell, whether you're willing to admit it or not. And you see, that's another important thing, is how honest are you with yourself? If you start putting imagination into your life, you start getting to a place where solving problems isn't the prime directive. Yeah. So let's pour a little imagination in here right now. And let's consider, what if you had magic and could change things in your favor? So that if you could be completely uninhibited, without regard to consequences, you would choose to live what you would want to live in the moment, or perhaps have that moment extend into becoming your new life. You see, it requires imagination. It requires vivid imagination. Because I don't care how much you think about it, how much knowledge you have about it, how much understanding you have about it, you're not going to get there. It just is not going to happen. You've got to have oomph. You've got to have really a feeling of wanting to be who you want to become. That then fires up your imagination to where it has the power in it to move you from where you were in your becoming. Now, that old image of yourself, it's not necessarily going to go away. But what you can do is you can stop referring to it as if it were still you. And instead of letting it be your status quo, you actually move beyond it. You might use it as a frame of reference to say, this is who I do not want to be anymore. Sometimes what you do is you move away. But if you're just trying to get away, and you're not doing anything to change yourself, then you go right along with you. And you'll show up. So running away is not the solution. But if you can get to the place of seeing, I need to have a positive imagination here. I need to have this magic liquid that will dissolve the solid images and help me in my becoming. Now, crises, loss, these definitely can be times of transformation. Because what happens is in that moment, in the twinkling of an eye, everything that you depended upon that seemed so solid, so real, so there forever, vanishes. And you're left with the raw situation as it is. That can be very powerful. But crises and loss doesn't have to be the only way you go about accomplishing transformation. You can use a vivid imagination combined with love to get you to a positive change. Now, positive imagination will be the death of you if you're living an illusion. And sometimes you don't realize you're living an illusion. But look at it from this perspective. That's a good thing. It'll kill the you you're not, so the you that is can come forward. You cannot create anything unless you can see the possibility of it. And wherever you are in your life right now, if it's not happening to you right now, it will happen to you. So you need to, in yourself, realize your imagination is the only state of mind that allows you to be free from the limiting reality you live in. It is the magic liquid that you can then pour into your life to allow it to get loose, to allow it to get to where you can move it around and you can shift and change and allow yourself to become who you want to become. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm certainly feeling with me that I'm ready to change who I am and move with this magic liquid so I can go on in my becoming. And I'm feeling in myself the need to let go of things that I feel are holding me back, keeping me from being me. The me that makes me feel good about me being me. Now you see, all of us are really being stirred, but we're not all responding to the stimulus. And what that really reveals is our reluctance to let go of what we believe is so solid and so real and so necessary for us to be. Well, like I just said, one of the ways that you're shown it isn't necessary is when you have something that you call a crisis occur in your life that then shakes you to such a degree that you realize you have to make some changes. But again, what if you are choosing that? What if you're, in essence, looking for that? What if you, in essence, are doing things in order to move yourself along, even if you don't know what is going to be the end result? You still are willing to have your imagination be fired by your internal desire to be who makes you feel good about you being you. When I was a kid, I thought that being under the rule of my parents was sufficient stimulation to get me the hell out of Dodge. But then I didn't count on my mother dying unexpectedly. How rude. She just abandoned me just like that. And my father, he wasn't anywhere to be seen. I was left on my own. That was a crisis for me that, in myself, I didn't handle exceptionally well. But I did try a number of things that I saw wouldn't work, so I learned from it. And then I moved on in my life and moved from being a renegade to seeing, all right, that granted me some experiences too, but then I saw what was in my life and I thought, okay, I need to honor some commitments and some obligations here. I honored them until they got to be so unbelievably burdensome that I realized this is going to bury me. I'm not going to live this either. So I moved on from there. I moved from here, I moved from there, to where, as I said, here I am now, feeling that same urge in me, coupled with what I consider to be a good amount of experience to help temper my next move, but then again, maybe not, so that I can go on with this powerful liquid that has been placed in my life, that has been placed in every one of our lives. You see, what works for me works for you, but you've got to be willing to work it. You have imagination. You're using it all the time. Most of the time right now, we use our imagination to confirm our situation as being the only thing that is. And it isn't. What a bunch of baloney. I've heard spirits say many times, when you die, you're going to realize, wow, I could have lived so many other things. Well, what if you choose to die right now to the version of you, and you choose to be born into, with vivid imagination and love, the new you who's urging you, stirring you, encouraging you, just below the level of your everyday awareness, to get out of the rut that you believe to be you, and let yourself become some you that's different, that's more in harmony with you. So, I know, perhaps this has stirred you to such a degree that you'll want to go next door as soon as we're finished. They're serving up in just a few minutes. They'll be open. And then again, you might want to take this into your inner recesses and realize that the wise being you are has chosen to be here so you could hear this and realize you really do want to outgrow the old you. So, as always, the choice is yours. It's your opportunity. The choice is mine. It's my opportunity. Oh, come on, smile this time. Thank you for your attention. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.